Scott Gaulden, so great to have you here. I know you're busy. I appreciate you being here.
Chris, started 18 years ago. I bought Simmons Floorcovering, and we're a small little business that just did flooring. And then a few years ago, we decided to launch a separate entity called Simmons Total Renovations, basically to do kitchen and bath remodeling. What video does is it allows me to increase my range significantly by putting presentations in the hands of my salespeople that they can use to share. And to me, what that does is it means that I'm not having to be so involved in the day-to-day anymore. With the video, I'm giving them a link that they can share, and the customer's still getting access to me, but I'm not having to be here every day, and I'm not having to be talking to every single customer.
Talk to me a little bit about what was your mindset then? Where were you? And what kind of interested you in some of the things that you saw that we did over here at East to West?
Chris, we met at a pretty opportune time for me because I was a frustrated business owner. It felt like I was doing a lot of the right things, but I just wasn't seeing the growth in my business that I really wanted to see. And I had several salespeople that I felt like, gosh, if I could just duplicate what I do on a daily basis and have them do it, we could grow a lot faster. And so as we started to talk about integrating more video into what we were doing, I really like that idea because we're in a real visual business. Let's face it, there's TV shows every day in the home improvement segment. So people love to hear stories, right? They love to go, you went from here to here. The thinking is maybe we could use video to tell the story about how we work with a customer along the way, and that new customers could relate to that and would be excited about the same progress for them. So as we started shooting some of these videos, we started getting real positive feedback from customers. Hey, when my salespeople would share that link with a customer, they would be going like, oh, those are the kind of stairs I'm interested in. Can you do those? Can you do that for me? Or in a lot of cases, they'd be like, I didn't know you could do that. That's something I didn't know. Now that I know that you can do that, can we add these things to the project, to the scope of work that I'm interested in talking about? Basically, the video concept has helped me to control how my customers interact with us or the impression that they get from us. And it's a much, much bigger impression than, oh, this is just a company that's, small little company. They see the videos and they're just very impressed. And they also come away with a sense of trust. Customers are looking for people that they can trust. And if I can show them through a video, here's what I've been able to do for somebody else, it just increases that level of trust they have with my company.
So before we go much further, I know there's a hesitation by most business owners. First of all, they're too busy. They're one-arm paper hangers. They got a million things going. And then number two, that feeling of I'm not an on-camera guy. I'm not a front person. Speak a little bit to that, to those folks that just don't feel like, man, I would love to do that, but it's just not me. Maybe talk a little bit about the process.
Our best videos are not the ones where I'm talking, Chris. Best videos that we have are the ones where I'm just talking with the client like I would at any other time. Tell me what it is you want. Do you like what we did with this? And let them be the star, okay? Let your customer be the star and tell the story. I think sometimes maybe I get in the way, which I probably need to get out of that. I'd much rather have my client telling the story, especially if you can get a client to be on camera with you and all you do is just ask questions like you normally would. That works real well. And the second thing I would say is if you don't feel like you're good in front of the camera or in front of people, maybe now's the time to practice that a little bit and get a little bit better in those areas because it'll make you a better leader in your company and it'll help you come across better in the end. And then the final thing I will say is everything can be fixed in editing.
Was it relieving to know that it wasn't live and you only had one take and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the beauty of it is if it didn't come out right, then just do it again. And if that didn't come out right, do it again. The first customers had a hard time because I didn't have anything to show them for them to know what it was that I had in mind for them to do. After I did that, in a lot of ways, it cemented our relationship. They were like, wow, you want me to? Yes, because we want you to be a spokesman for us. And then it's gotten to now where it's early in the process and they're already starting to talk about how the video is going to look when the job's finished. We have actually had customers come to us and say, if this turns out good, I'd really like to put together one of those videos for you.
Wow,
Great.
and then
Love that.
Advocate, they take it to their downline and their social platform.
Absolutely.
share.
Absolutely.
Wow. Was that kind of a pleasant surprise that you weren't quite expecting or you're hoping for?
It is. It really was. Because my thought was nobody's going to want to participate in this, but I was surprised. Some of them really do. There's a little ham in a lot of people.
Along those lines, was there any kind of fun stories or anything that came out of some of these so far?
I mean, everybody wants immediate results, right? If anybody's promising you immediate results, run. Nobody can promise you that. But we did have a couple of things really early on that were immediate hits. We had videos on our YouTube channel about working with insurance projects. And because there were a lot of answers that people have about that particular topic, and I had no idea, but people are searching YouTube for answers to all sorts of questions. We had some clients call us up and say, hey, we saw the way you were answering the questions. We've got an insurance claim that we're having a hard time working. Our adjuster's not working with us. We'd like to hire you to work on the project.
That was somebody that you didn't have to vet or meet with until they were already basically asking to sign up.
They were convinced already. And I can say that when people see the videos on our website as well as our YouTube channel, along with the reviews, that we have people coming to us, and we made the job of our salespeople so much easier because the customers are like, I know what I can expect from you guys. I know what it is you're capable of. I trust that you're going to do what you're going to do. I'm an open book here. I am willing to share with you what I really want.
That feeling, trust that comes, it shouldn't be so surprising because we get so much of that now. We're taking in so much content. It's not like we just have 3 networks on television. And so we just got it coming from everywhere. And so there's people that feel like they know somebody because they've watched several videos. And you can't put a value on when the customer takes over and just starts talking. I think you were telling me the other day, one of the most fun that you have is when you get into this situation and you're asking questions and they go, wait, come look at this. Look how this shower turned out. Or check this out. This is what I was hoping for and I didn't expect this. And they start telling the stories. And therefore you're just sitting back there going, wow, that's awesome.
We've got one that I remember specifically that did 2 remodels with us, and on his personal house, he took over. I just got out of the way. I asked 1 or 2 questions and then here you go. And he was telling about the commode that he installed and the way that we'd done the shower for him and how excited he was about the cabinets, and it just took over.
Talk to me just a little bit more about the benefits you're getting internally with your team and what areas, if someone's considering this, maybe these are some things they're not thinking about, how it relates to the morale, how it relates to training, how it relates to onboarding new employees. Talk a little bit about that you were a little bit surprised about.
I'll give you one example. I have an older gentleman that works for me that's been in the industry for years and actually had owned his own business and decided to get out of business, but just wanted to sell. And we interviewed, we hired him, and he'd been here for a couple of weeks when I started sharing with him some of the video content. And quite frankly, he was blown away. He goes, I had no idea that I was coming to work for a company like this that had all these tools. He goes, I'm going to grab some of these young guys and explain to them what it is that you have here that no other flooring store has so that they'll know exactly how to use this. This is amazing. And really benefited from him kind of sharing all of this content. And he's really good about sharing this content with his clients. I'll give you another example. There's certain topics that maybe your salespeople or customer service people have a difficulty in approaching customers with. One of those issues in our industry is financing. A lot of times they'll suggest, hey, we have this financing. The customer, the first time the customer always says, no, I'm not interested in financing. But by sending another video that I put together that lists, here's the reasons why you may want to take a second look at financing, sending that as an email, a lot of our salespeople are closing business that we would not have gotten because we're offering financing and explaining it more clearly than we could if we're face-to-face. There's a lot of things that people will listen to more thoroughly on video than they'll ever listen to you face-to-face. They'll just cut you off and go on. But if it's video and there's not anybody watching, they're like, so I can finance this for 12 months, no interest, no payments? That sounds pretty good. Okay, maybe I don't want to spend all my money right now. There's things you can discuss.
And that it helps that employee who maybe is a little skittish to talk about the money side of it, either because I don't want to say the wrong thing or it's just not my comfort zone.
Or why should I, if I bring it up again, they're going to think maybe I wasn't listening to them. In a lot of cases, it's the second or third time with financing that the customer finally goes, oh, wow, I really need to finance this. And our close rate on that is it goes through the roof. It makes it easy for customers to buy.
Could you do me a favor, talk a little bit more about how this is the closest thing to cloning yourself, the multiplication factor, and how what your thoughts were and how it's played out.
For years, I literally thought if I could just get my salespeople to do the things that I do, I know that we could increase sales significantly. Part of what we did, Chris, is we put together a list of what are the topics or what are the things that we really want to make sure they're communicated in every sales presentation. And let's do some video of that and try to cut it down into 2-minute, 3-minute videos so they're not real long. Some of our videos are pretty elaborate. They'll go 6-7 minutes because they're telling a real broad story. But our topic related videos, we're doing those in 2-minute segments. And my salespeople know that now here's the way I can explain the differences between these products. And because I've got it all tuned in, real simple, and they can go out and they can say, you know what, I'm not real good at explaining this. Let me just show you this one video clip so you can see a little bit better. They watch the video clip, questions answered. So our onboarding process of bringing salespeople up to speed is much faster now. For a long time, it was about 9 months to a year before a salesperson felt confident answering all of the questions along the way. Now I've got a library of questions that are being answered by me, and all they've got to do is just identify what was that question. Okay, here's the video that helps to answer that question for you.
It's been as simple as I've noticed you'll keep your phone nearby and you've got basically it's the link to the YouTube page, but you've got them all listed there. And so I've seen it's been very easy. You'll just go grab that one subject, copy it, and text it to them. And you talk about getting right in the flow of their life. They don't have to go hunt it down. They don't have to do anything. You don't have to mail them anything. It's not an email. It's instant. And they're like, oh, wow, cool. So 2 minutes later, now they're educated and you've communicated that and you've moved on. So that's fantastic.
Chris, I know that other sales or other business people are out there thinking, what would this do? To me, more than anything else, it's going to put you on a plane ahead of any of the other businesses that they might be talking to if you implement this. My philosophy is I don't want to compete against anybody. I want to be up in a strata that everybody goes, they're different than anybody else. I can't compare anybody else to what it is, and I want what they have. And video, it puts you into that strata where you're doing something different than any other business that's out there. And it just makes a huge impact.
Talk to me a little bit about outside of video. We've had some experiences with some new emerging market concepts. Mm-hmm. And East to West is unique in that we are not just a video production company. We're about content creation and we're about business growth. And so the ability to have someone that knows your business up close and intimately because we've gotten involved in the message.
I think what you're talking about, Chris, is I had a brainstorm last December of what would it take to have an automated process and replace the salespeople completely. What would it look like if we just had an automated process and become the flooring equivalent of Carvana or Warby Parker or some of these other companies that are out there automating the sales process? And it was just a few minutes into the conversation when you were saying we could do this, we could do this. And as far as the development side, and within about 6 weeks from the point where I was just brainstorming this idea, 6 weeks later, we were beginning to develop a website and a new business concept that would allow that to take place. I needed both marketing and I needed some software in the background to help make this work. Working with East to West made all of that possible, where by having a single source to be able to do all of those things under the same house, it saved me a huge amount of time and money and energy. I don't think it would have ever come together if I had to try to pick this group and then this group and then this group, because let's face it, it's hard to get groups to work together these days. So by using East to West, I was able to just get everything done in one house, and that really saved me some time. I still like the stories that we tell. Every time we finish a big project, I try to get a customer to go on camera with us and tell a story, because I'm hoping to just have that fresh content every single month. Here's a new video that we're putting out. But kind of the direction we're going on right now is I want to try to maybe make some smaller videos, some 2-minute videos, 3-minute videos, maybe even 20, 25-second videos. Get those on Facebook more. What we're finding out is Facebook is built for video. I don't know if anybody else scrolls through and starts watching reels. I find myself, if I've got a little bit of time before I know it, I've burned up 30 minutes just going, oh, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? You know, I can be part of that next thing if I've got some videos out there working for me. For the demographics that I'm going after, which is typically people 40 and above, it's still Facebook and Instagram primarily. You know?
You've heard me say this many times. If you got content, you got options. The
Yeah.
problem is so many times, and I've been a business owner as well. Yeah, you have people come in and go, "Oh, Google clicks and we're going to do this and that." All those things are part of the picture. If you got nothing to share, you got nothing to say. And so one of the things that we found has been so positive is by getting some of this content, specifically video content, because it gives us the visuals, gives us the audio. We can make just audio only if we need to. And it gives us the ability to not only teach and educate, but promote. And then that stuff can actually be converted into text. And so you got blog posts. So you've got this engine. It's like we got this car and we're not going anywhere with it because we got no fuel for it. And so it's to continue to have that kind of fuel and keep it fresh. And I know that's been something you're real excited about. In fact, we haven't even talked much about, and that's the repurposing of content.
If somebody has questions, they're free to pick up the phone and call me. I'll be happy to talk to them as well. Anything I can do to help ETW, that would be an honor. Be an honor to help.
It's been a pleasure working with you, and I can't wait to see what the next couple of years hold. Some of those projects that you mentioned are in the works, and I think hoping people will be like, those are the dudes. Those are the dudes that created that thing. And so we've got some cool stuff on the horizon, and hopefully we'll be able to see it to the end and when it hits the market and explodes, right?
Absolutely.
For more information or to schedule a video call, simply visit etwcreations.com.